Hello,
Hello.
I'm Dan. This is a podcast where choices are made,
That's the intro.
paths chosen.
I won't even have to edit the intro into the start this time. That'll just be it. This is a podcast.
This is a podcast.
Where choices are made.
Welcome to, I don't know how you guys ended up here, but welcome. How are you?
You don't know how you ended up here?
That's nice. No, it's really good to hear.
What?
I'm trying to have a two-way conversation with the listener. I can't hear your responses right now, but I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, ask us any questions you want. Q&A time. All right. Yes, Bill. No, I'm afraid we can't answer that one.
Feels like House of Cards. Let me just pick my reporters, vaguely answer their question, and then say, yeah, Seth will just answer the rest of these. See ya.
Good old Seth.
So what's the dealio? What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
I'm not sure. I never come prepared.
Me neither.
Could just rub the Buddha.
Sounds vaguely suggestive.
Yes. Only vaguely, though.
Doesn't matter to me, man. Let's talk about, well, you're done at where you were working. Let's talk about your time there. Let's talk about your
My time there?
yeah. Let's talk about your experience at Best Buy.
It was good. It's the reason I keep going back. Except for the fact that they will continuously hire me.
Well, you're relied upon or reliable.
Mm-hmm. Tons of good people. There's always tons of good people. That's pretty much the only, well, not the only, but the biggest reason to stay.
Yeah. That's it. No elaboration. Tell us about the people.
No. Because when you work in the back, there are limited customer interactions, which isn't a terrible thing. You get tasks, clean everything up, send things out, bring things in. Lots of coworkers who are interested in tech or just usually easy to talk to.
Cool. Any long-lasting relationships built there?
I'm not entirely sure. I will see once I come back.
Yeah, I guess, eh?
Yeah, after 5 months.
That'll be how you'll know.
Yeah.
The ones that still want to keep in touch after 5 months of you being absent.
I'm sure I will be able to talk to all of them again. Most of them, the ones I did talk to. Some of the salespeople I didn't get to talk to very much.
Yeah, just a different side of the store.
Yeah, kind of. They were doing their own thing.
Yep. Cool.
Can't distract them all the time.
What are things you've learned working for Best Buy, Daniel? Sponsored by Best Buy.
Bizboy.
Not actually.
I'm not really sure.
You haven't learned anything?
I've been doing similar work for like 3-4 years, so
So
can't say
over the
I've learned
years.
tons. Over the years?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be just since you moved to Edmonton.
Mm.
Describe your job experience. Where it took you. Where you started
Good.
from.
I was working like 2 to 3 days a week. It was the bomb.
So it was a good 30% of your life.
No, not even.
Good 10%.
I was gonna say, I didn't work the whole day.
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
They just like keep us there for a 24-hour session. Get paid out the wazoo. Because you have nothing else to do. Just Best Buy. I'm not sure if there's anything that I can pull out from that.
No experiences, like for example, you're going to be coming back from India and starting up your own business in Hatha Yoga, right?
Mhm.
What practices from Best Buy could you apply to that sort of thing?
Get them going out the door. Excuse me, did you find everything you were looking for today? How can I help you with that?
I feel enlightened, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm gonna greet everyone at the door and just be like speaking through a microphone to the room where everyone is. Okay, now downward dog. Leanne.
Enlightenment in all five. Enlightenment in all five.
Hello, this is Daniel be your guru today. I guess yogi would be the more appropriate term. That'd be the worst. Just not even present, just like a recording of me. They don't know until they know.
It's like fucking Wizard of Oz, some bullshit. You know, you're just off behind a curtain somewhere napping.
Yeah, that would be really funny, actually. Just someone finds me out, just this big floating head in the room. That'd be amazing. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Specifically, a lot of the learning programs that they have there are okay. It feels like going to school. The information's like all collected there, but you need to be the type of person who wants to know everything, or for it to become a bigger part of your life. I'm pretty sure that was a car outside.
I think you're right.
Yeah, outside from that, they the leadership there and the guys way up who are trying to figure out how to make it better for the employees are doing a pretty good job. I feel like that's what's going to keep the business going for as long as it will. It's the fact they actually have some interest in the happiness of their employees.
Yeah, well, that's a good point as well. Like as far as leadership goes, because you're going to be in a pretty positive leadership role, ideally, right?
Mm.
What have you learned about leadership from observing or through your experiences there? Or what do you know about leadership?
Not a lot.
No?
You need to know more than the people that are following you, I guess. But I mean, it just seems like you just need to be a good person.
Yeah.
Vague statement, but
Yeah, for me, leadership is always being able to just positively forge forward, even if you don't want to. You know, like if you're, it's not like a today I'm not gonna do anything. It's like I'm gonna keep doing shit. Like we were talking, or no, I was talking to Chance about that. I guess never mind.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there yet. It was right before we went across the street. But I was watching a Philip DeFranco show or live stream, and there's like somebody who was like, "Oh yeah, you know, words of encouragement or words of wisdom for an aspiring small YouTuber." And he was like, "Yeah, like the difference between the people who make it and don't make it is that on the days that you don't feel it, you're not feeling it, you're not really motivated, you do it anyways."
Mm.
And the people who don't do it anyways are less likely to succeed because they're taking those days off, or you know, letting the little things or their mood affect progress.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I view leadership, right? It's like you have to be willing to go and be in the front lines all the time. You have to be willing to get your hands dirty. You can't just be a dictator.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I really appreciated about like the best manager I had, was that it's like, hey, shit needed to get done, and he'd be out that was when I was in a pipe yard, and he just was like, all right, we got to move these pipe, and he'd come out and he'd start fucking slinging pipe and helping out, and like be like, okay, this is where they need to go, this is what needs to get done. You and you maybe work on that end, and then we'll work on this end, and he'd be out like leading by example and not just leading from an office chair. That's something that resonated with me. I know, like when I've had staff working for me, it's like other members of where I work, they're like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna stay here and watch the office, you go do this. Whereas I'm like, all right, we've got a slow period, let's both go and tackle this project, and we'll get it done at twice the speed and half the effort, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Leadership is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it can vary too, depending on the type of followers that you have.
Checking your mic.
I was checking your mic.
What up?
It just, so that little black band there.
Yeah.
I thought
I can't see it because I'm not going to move.
Yeah, it just looked like yours was unplugged almost. I was just looking, but they're the same.
Success on YouTube is kind of a interesting topic. I find it a little bit funny that you would, well, it's not funny. I guess it's completely accurate based on most people's positions in life. But, well, like even just saying, oh, I'm gonna go do it even though I don't feel like doing it, seems like there is struggle that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
And where this is essentially going, said guru, a lot of the practices that he's trying to get you into basically get you to a point where you are you can be very grateful for the simplest things. You're always happy because everything's in perspective and you really understand how lucky you are.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get into that state of being happy, you have more energy, you're willing to do a lot more, you don't get offended so easily. Like, it's very difficult to break that happiness.
Yeah.
And so, like, you don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, my body feels slightly groggy, I hate my job. Instead, you're someone who has completely invested themselves in life, and then getting up and doing YouTube would be fucking easy.
Yeah, well, we've talked about that kind of just being happy thing before, right? It's just like, just be in that state and everything else will be so much better. And if you wake up feeling shitty, then things are going to be shitty. But it's more so, it's like not even, like I might have even phrased it wrong, but it's just like, it's not like you don't want to do it, it's just like you can't let, it's kind of like what you're saying, it's just like don't let the, it's like, I have a bad day at work and I've got editing to do, and I come home and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to edit because, you know, I'm running on these bad vibes from work. And that's poor. You can't just let the stuff affect you. But yeah, no, I totally agree with the happiness thing where it's just like you're invested in everything in a positive nature. Because yeah, then there is significantly less struggle. You just want to do it because everything is happy.
Yeah, you are indifferent towards whatever you're doing. You're just, whatever it is, it's the same.
Cool.
Need a nap? Should we talk about it more? Put you to sleep?
Nah, maybe.
Get a good morning's rest. Mid-afternoon's rest.
So early, Daniel.
Yeah.
It's almost noon on a Sunday.
It is actually almost noon on a Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah, there's not much going on right now. I'm just waiting for my visa.
You haven't got it yet?
No.
Oh, I thought
They sent my passport back, but no visa.
Oh, that's the best. Yeah, I thought that was your visa that came.
I wish.
I just saw the empty package. So what happens if it's like there's no way it wouldn't get here before?
If it doesn't get here before I have to leave, and then I'm just not going.
Yeah, that would
Can't go.
That'd be fucked.
I just have to orchestrate the returning of money. Now I'm immunized for a bunch of stuff, so if Canada ever gets typhoid, stop treating the water, then
Let's go out into the scuzziest places of Edmonton, Daniel.
I don't think I could. I feel like Canada is just like way too clean. It kills. Winter is the greatest
Just
Mr. It's the original Mr. Clean.
Purifies the land.
It kills everything.
Yeah, everything that doesn't know how to hibernate.
I'm gonna be real sad
Or
if we lose
migrate.
winter over our lifetime. I'm just gonna move further north.
Yeah, we talked about that in like I think podcasts like 5 or 6. When the one that was super sweaty up here, we were like, yeah, we'll just keep moving north. I would not be surprised if in our lifetime winter is
Shortened significantly.
well, yeah, we're gone.
Come on, man.
Have you seen the heat wave stuff that's going on over in Europe right now?
I have not.
Just like record high heat and hotness and warmth. People I know somebody over in Paris right now, and they're just like they're Instagramming and they're just like pouring sweat, like my levels of sweat, and it's just like an average day over there. Just unnatural levels of
Just
heat.
makes it more real. That's why I'm hearing more and more in the news. People switching from fossil fuels to the green stuff.
Well, everybody should have started that fucking 20 years ago.
Ah, that old one. That old gem.
Yeah. Hindsight's always 20/20, Daniel.
Yeah.
Except for when it's not.
I can't help it. But imagine the tree metaphor. Or analogy.
The tree
I
now.
should have planted a tree 20 years ago, then it'd be fully grown. It's just like, no, just fucking do it today, Jesus Christ. Everyone has that. Well, most people have that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, my moment was a music moment. Should have taken advantage of an opportunity that I had. Well, it was offered to the band, but I could have gone after it solo.
Oh, hey Shay, where's the rest of the band? I'm gonna pursue this by myself.
No, that was like right when they all went off to university, so it was like,
Oh,
hey,
gotcha.
I can show you what I can do by myself. Yeah.
Hey man, there's still an opportunity.
Oh, lots of opportunities. See, now I'm creating my own opportunities, and that's the difference, is that I've learned to provide things like that for myself instead of having to be offered it from others. I mean, like this.
It's not terrible if you're good at making friends. There's lots of people who can probably give you the opportunity.
I am not good at making friends.
What are you talking about? Look at this live audience full of our friends.
I'll put a laugh track in there.
Big Bang Theory. The worst.
Oh man, I am good at connecting with people. I'm not good at following through on the whole, let's go out and do something. And a big chunk of that is that I'm broke all the time.
Doesn't help.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice that there's stuff like Toonie Tuesdays for bowling.
Yeah, I'm totally.
That's super affordable.
I'm totally down for that, by the way. Thursday definitely didn't work for me.
Thursday was a lot.
It was what?
It's like $20 for unlimited bowling.
Well, that's still like not even bad, but I ended up having to go babysit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I told you that.
Nope.
Yeah, it was like I just sat down, ate, opened up the podcast to edit, and then Nicole texted me. She's like, "Hey, I gotta go to like ball hockey, and I can't get a sitter. Like, would you be able to watch Violet?" And I was just like, "Hells yeah!"
How much you paying?
Time and love of their child.
There you go.
I got a lot of good pictures. She's really into like taking pictures, so I was just like, "Ooh, Instagram filters. You want to look like a bunny, Violet?" And she's like, "Yeah." It was great. And we did some drawing. She was so cheeky. She was like, "I want to draw monsters." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna draw a monster," and I started. And I was like, "Are you drawing a monster?" She's like, "Yeah, it's me." She was just like, "Look, I have a red face."
Red face, the monster.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking funny. She's such an adorable kid. And she has the same Franklin books that I had when I was her age. Hurry up, Franklin.
No way. No one has the same Franklin books.
She had the Hurry Up Franklin book, and yeah, she's like, "Yeah, I want to read it." So I was like, "Okay." And then I got like 2 pages in, and she was just like totally lost interest. So I was just like, "All right, I'm not reading the words anymore." I'm like, "What's this animal? What's this animal? What are those?" Pointed at blueberries. I'm like, "What are those?" She's like, "Red berries." It's like, "No, what color are they?" "Blue." "So what kind of berries are they?" "Red berries." "No, they're blueberries." "No."
It's a matter of perspective.
It's like, all right,
Depends how light hits your eye.
they can be whatever you want, sweetie. She kept looking for a gray crayon. Like, I need a gray crayon. And she kept pulling out blue. Like, great big thing of crayons, right? And she like pulls out a blue. She's like, "There's gray." I'm like, "No, that's blue." "Oh," puts it back. It's like, "There's a gray one." I'm like, "No, sweetie, that's blue too." "Oh." "What about this one?" "That is also blue."
Not sure if she doesn't know what gray is or if she actually has some kind of visual problem.
Yeah, so I was just like, "What color is this one?" She's like, "Gray." I was like, "All right, well, that's a gray crayon." So she's just like in the dark of the box that they look gray.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was just funny that she pulled out like 3 almost identical blue crayons in a row. I was like, "Uh-oh, gotta get your eyes checked."
She didn't know that the algorithm wasn't working in her brain. It was like, "Oh wait, okay, I gotta rework this."
That's one thing about Franklin too. Franklin stands up on his back legs.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Why is he doing that?"
Because he can. He's evolved.
Look, his mommy and daddy, they're on all their legs. Franklin is on only 2 legs.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember them all standing up.
In the original books, his parents walk on 4 legs. There's like, once they get onto like the 5th, 6th, shorter, faster read books, they're biped.
Franklin the mutated free. Franklin, get on all 4s, quick. They'll take you away.
Yeah, conduct all sorts of experiments on him.
That's just like sew part of his leg back to his torso, so he has to be on all 4s.
Just break him at the knees.
Alright, this is getting a little messed up.
Alright, time to write a dark Franklin book.
Yeah. Oh, gross.
Franklin the Mutate, the escape from the
That
government.
German doctor from the Human Centipede. Because Germans are weird.
The turtle pee. Yep.
So that was your adventure? Your adventure?
Oh man, it was great. And she was showing me the movie Sing. The one
I'm sure she was.
Yeah. And then I got her to clean her room. As soon as I walked in the door, she's like, "My room's a mess." And I look in there, and it's just like a grenade went off or something. She's like, "Me and Mommy did that." I was like, "Okay, we'll clean that up later." So she's like, "Yeah, she's like, I want to go in my bedroom and play." I was like, "Well, we're going to have to clean something up first." She's like, "Oh, okay, and then we can play?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, we'll play when we're done cleaning." So I'm like, "All right, you clean up your Barbies." She cleans up her Barbies. And I'm like, "I'm going to go, like," she had like a Barbie tangled up in a fishing line. So I was like, "I'm going to go untangle this." And then she kept running out. She's like, "You're not helping." I was like, "I am, I'm untangling your baby Barbie." She's like, "Oh, what should I clean?" Go move your little cart thing in that bucket. Okay. She's here in the room just fucking this freaking that little pink truck she has.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just freaking just like throws it across the room over to her closet. She's like, "Damn, she's got some arms." It's so cute.
Oh man.
I love Violet.
Nice.
She's such a sweetheart. She's gonna be such a handful when she gets older.
I could definitely see that.
So, we've talked about leadership and visa worries.
I'm not too worried about it.
No, look, we
Said
said
the stuff I could be doing.
we said 10 days.
Yeah. I just quit my job and bought tickets and have insurance and everything. Taking the steps. All I need is that visa.
Yeah, well, 10 days was up Friday.
Maybe I was thinking it was 10 business days.
Oh, maybe.
Because that wouldn't be surprising either. So that's just 2 weeks. And then it's going to be coming this Tuesday or
Yeah.
Wednesday. And then my parents are going to be losing their shit.
Yeah, well, let's hope it shows up, right? Because, I mean, flights are on the 1st.
It comes on like the Monday after I was supposed to leave.
Yeah, well.
I'm just going to go to India and end them.
That's what, like, if it doesn't show up, then that's exactly what's going to happen. It's just going to show
Then
up.
I just can't be in India legally past a certain time frame.
So, like, if it, I guess, like, if it shows up late, so you screwed out of the whole program?
Yes,
That's a bummer, man.
absolutely. It's an opportunity in itself. That
Yeah.
means I can invest more time in the branch that's set up here. Can go volunteer there.
Yeah.
Look for a new job.
Or go back to the same job
It's true.
from what it sounds like.
Come
yeah.
back with my head between my tail between my legs.
Your head between your legs. You just walk in with your head between your knees. Just, "Hey guys, Daniel, what are you doing? I'm here for my old job."
I'm real sad.
Why? You look like you're in airplane crash position there, buddy.
They said I wouldn't die.
Tray tables up.
Yeah. Nah. If this fell through, I would probably apply for next year and do what I originally planned to do if I wasn't going to make it, or if I wasn't even going to get accepted.
Just do the volunteer stuff here and
Volunteer stuff here, find some part-time work, and do some online learning for some computer maintenance. And then
Yeah.
John's there too, so I can just go bounce off John every once in a while, or just help him with the stuff he's doing.
he's getting potentially a pretty tight little gig. Hey, I was telling you about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
man.
crazy.
He was like losing his mind, just like, I don't know, it's so much. And I was
Racking
just
his
like,
brain.
dude, just fucking do it. I mean, like, you're never gonna know if you don't take the shot at this opportunity. It's like, well, what if I screw up? It's like, so what if you screw up? How are you gonna feel if you don't take this opportunity? It's like, yeah, I guess you're right. I was like, I know I'm fucking right. I just spent the last year doing this whole song and dance.
When you just start wearing Nike stuff, you just keep pointing at the logo.
Yeah.
Every time you see John, it's something new.
You just have that Shia LaBeouf video on fucking blast.
I don't think anybody's motivated by that video.
Well,
It became a joke.
it is a joke. But at the same time, having somebody scream at you, just do it.
Ugh.
Just have it queued.
Just stresses me out.
Just have it queued up every time he's like, well, I don't know. Just do it!
Oh man, all shy.
Yeah, man, I really hope that works out for him. Not only would it be a great opportunity, experience, and stepping stone as far as, like, I mean, he's done a lot of stuff with computers, but this would definitely open him up to much larger avenues of, like, technological and computer, like, advancement, like, through big companies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, big projects with hundreds of thousands of people. It'd be pretty wild. And the money for him too would be amazing. I was telling him that too. I'm like, all right, like, you guys are doing all right. Like, kudos to you. Imagine how much better of a future you could provide for your kids, for Nicole, because it's like, whatever, right? Just like
your birds,
all your pets, your freaking lizards and dogs, axolotls and dogs and birds and gerbils, hamsters.
Axolotl. Imagine it touching your skin right now.
I don't wanna. Now I'm just thinking about
It's just like licking your cheek.
I'm thinking about it swimming in my coffee, and I'm trying not to vomit. Little vomit burp there.
You are
But I was like,
sensitive.
oh, those things are just fucking nasty, man.
They're so cute.
From like 20 feet away, sure.
Oh, look at that slightly pinkish blob. Oh, it's just a penis.
But yeah, I was like, imagine all the opportunities you could afford for yourself and for your family and for your daughter, right? Like, imagine being able to put her through better post-secondary or anything like that. Being able to get her first car. Like, whatever it may be. I'm not a dad, so I don't know what the priorities are, but but yeah, just all the opportunities that could be afforded with the excess money, and especially since it's not even like, it's not like a full-time 9-to-5 job in an office. It's just like,
Remember they need you?
he either said 4 times a week or 4 times a month. I'm inclined to think 4 times a week, but it's all like he can do it all out of his house as well. Like, he doesn't have to go into an office anywhere.
Yep.
They just hook him up with like the server hookups or whatever to the companies, and then he can just kind of do what he has to do through what's that word where they take over, like, head office or whatever. They like, tech guys, like, remote control your computer.
Yeah.
There's a word
Pretty
for
sure
it.
it's just a remote station by proxy.
Something like that. Anyways, yeah, he'll just be doing that kind of stuff for lots of companies.
He seems like the kind of guy who's definitely got the knowledge and skills, and he's had it for a while, and just nobody noticed. Just
Well,
he
he's-
would literally just have to walk in a room and be like, "Hey, I'm fully capable of such and such things." Oh shit! Well,
Yeah.
we could probably use you in a good portion of the jobs that are currently available.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that, like, he worked at like Memory Express and stuff like that, where he could put his knowledge to use and where he was learning and developing and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
he's developed a lot of it, like, when computers were just becoming a thing, right? Like, that was, he grew up learning that as it was developing. So he's got a lot of the knowledge and experience there. But the reason he got the job offer was because of his old coworker, Tim. I don't know if you've met or heard of Tim. Anyways, I met Tim a couple of times, but basically this guy was like, "Hey, do you know anybody?" And Tim was just like, "John. Like, John knows the shit." And John knows the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, he's definitely invested himself in a single area for a long enough time.
Yeah.
That, he's gone pretty far knowledge-wise.
Well, I mean, it's like I said on Friday there, like, I wouldn't even have my studio up and running if it wasn't for John and his tech savviness. It's definitely a valuable asset and a wonderful friend. And lover. Scratch that. Scratch that. Well, I guess this is the Stroke John's Ego podcast.
Are we almost done?
I don't know.
Did he finish?
Oh, gotcha.
Ha!
Ah!
Gross.
Cool, well, fingers crossed that your visa shows up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, as much as I would love to have you here still, it would be a bit of a bummer. I mean, you spent fucking like 3 months working towards this.
I don't think it'd be that big of a deal.
Okay, I I guess I'm just more.
I'd be able to work it out.
I'm just more emotionally invested than you are, I guess. Took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that you were leaving, and now I'm super supportive, and you're just like, meh. It'll be what it is. I'll be in India or I'll be here. No emotions involved.
I'll make it work. Now that I know there's channels or sources that I can go to. Like, they meet every month, and then there's programs being held here every 3 months.
Yeah, well, that's like the kind of stuff I was encouraging you to
And I should just go and meet them all the time and just be my best friends, and then I'll move in with them. I'm sorry, Shay.
You motherfucker. Better still come around for anime night.
Everyone's just... Yeah, if I stayed, I would probably contact a bunch of people at Best Buy and be like, we're having an anime night.
I'm totally down for that.
Just like,
yeah.
just give me a list of animes and we'll just watch them all.
Up to 10 episodes every Saturday night.
That'd be pretty brutal. That'd be a lot of anime.
Yeah, I think like 5 would be lots.
yeah, exactly. Like, talk shit on everyone else's animes.
Yeah, because we were only doing like 2, maybe 3.
You can do as many as you want. There are usually quite a few good ones to go watch.
Well, I'm intrigued by the one you were showing me last night, Erased.
Boku no Shigajigamai Gaio. No, I don't remember. Seems legit. It's one English word and about like 7 Japanese words.
Yeah, it was a long title. Considering in English it's just Erased.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah. Simple, to the point.
I hope that's not actually how you say erase in past tense in Japanese.
Just so long, his fucking word.
Yeah, that'd be the worst.
Yeah.
But yes, that series is super good, and there is a channel that does breakdowns of scenes in film, and he talks about one of the scenes, and he goes super in depth, and it's definitely shows he's put some work into thinking about it.
Well, that's the thing, right, with that kind of art style. I mean, when you watch, like with the exception of a few really good TV directors, when you watch shows like anime, it's easy to work in a lot more symbolism and kind of subtle hints or processes that you would not really have time to set up for in like a non-animated series. Unless it's like something like Breaking Bad, where Vince Gilligan's just a fucking beast. But yeah, in anime it's just like, oh, we need to like convey a subtle hint of a message here. Just draw it in. We don't need to set up. We don't need to have 30 people in light crews and research and blah, blah, blah. Just draw it in. See?
Yeah, I'm not sure about all this film stuff.
No?
No.
I
Some
like
enthusiasts. Some of my coworkers are really enthusiastic about it, but it definitely gets them going.
Yeah, speaking as somebody who is drifting into those areas, it's definitely like I've always been fascinated by like film and TV and like just framing stuff up the right way or in unique ways or setting up backgrounds to, because like you can visually arrange things in ways that like give you a sense of pleasure or unease, right? Or like how in House of Cards, the way that they do their music, right? It's as opposed to like visually psychologically manipulative ideas. It's all like it all just kind of hits your ear and gives you those kind of senses of what's going to happen, or kind of misleads you. Like sometimes you think like, oh shit, somebody's about to die because they're playing like that weird kind of like off stringy sound in the background, and you're just like, oh man, like I'm very uneasy about all this, and then everything kind of works out. You're just like, oh, they're just playing with me. It's very interesting to me.
It's interesting to me. It's a little odd just because it's such a strong association with visual cues and audio cues.
Yeah.
Saying this is good, this is bad, this means this is going to happen, and it's like a really strong attachment to certain things being good and certain things being bad.
Yeah. Well, you can just like, you can play with the mind, right? Like you can create scenes with like long dark shadows and like give people like a mysterious sort of, you know, kind of like dark feeling to a scene, like how you frame it up, or like how Supernatural films everything in that one filter that's just like gives you the appearance that their whole world is just like grainy and dark, And then they
Mhm.
have episodes where they like take that filter off, like the one in season 5, where they're like manipulated into that office building and they're working and everything's just like bright and cheerful and you're like, man, this sounds like a totally different feel,
Yeah.
even though it's the same characters and still like a ghost story. So it's just, yeah, lots of that kind of stuff. I really enjoy the process of how we can manipulate perception and the mind, either visually, psychologically, auditorily.
Yeah.
I
Although
love
people have to be aware of it too. If they're not, then it's pointless, and even if they are, it's still kind of...
That's kind of the point, though, is to be able to frame stuff like that up so that it's not, like, if you knew about it, it'd be recognizable, right? It's like the left and right scene placement thing that I've talked to you about before. We talked about, like, in Black Mirror, like when you're watching those kinds of conversations, and it's like the person who's being interrogated is the person in control of the conversation because they have all the answers. So they're on a specific side of the screen. And then as the detective finds out more and more, right, like how the perception changes, and now the shots are being viewed from the other way around because now the detective or the person's in control because they're getting more and more information or putting the other person back on their heels. Like it's something that even if you don't know about it, you know that there's a shift in power, like even if it's through the dialogue, but they're also setting it up visually to kind of add strength to the scene or to the shots. And same with, like, you can orchestrate music into all that or lighting. And like unless you know what you're looking for, you wouldn't be able to say, oh, that's what happened. Like that's the kind of style or tool that they were using. But even if you don't know about it, you're still aware that there's a change or a shift or a tone.
Like you over my head.
Yeah, like you can look at Supernatural and be like, yeah, this is a grainy, dark, gritty monster world, just by looking at it, like when it's filmed. And then you can look at something else like How I Met Your Mother, and it's just like no gritty, dark filters. You're like, this is a very positive, flashbacky, hilarious world just because of the way that everything's set up.
Yeah.
You put the Supernatural filter over the New York and How I Met Your Mother, you would immediately feel more disparaged about how that New York looked. Anyways.
Neat. No, you just have to dive. I feel like I just have to dive headfirst into it. Most of it seems like just learning about what the director knows and why they would do certain things.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I want to learn a little bit more about it. I mean, that's lots of stuff I've picked up over like the last 6 or 7 years. But I mean, there's tons of that. I mean, people go to school for that kind of shit, right? And I would really love to broaden my horizons, especially if I'm going to be doing more filming stuff. I know I'm talking to Chance about doing some projects. He just texted me back here today about talking about some artistic stuff, potentially anyways. See what his schedule looks like or where he's going as far as his acting is going and whatever.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, there's definitely enough books out there on that kind of stuff.
Just need to seek out the knowledge.
Well, there was a couple when I was doing lots of drawing. There's one, I can't entirely remember the name of the book, but it was basically a comic book artist writing about how to set up scenes.
Cool.
Especially to give some scenes like motion or to just adjust the different feelings of the scenes. So it's just mind stuff. It's just like, oh, this is why we set up the scene, so the scene's going to be set up in such and such a way, and this kind of conversation is going to happen because the light's on this character and the light's not on this character.
Yeah, I think you were talking
and then
to
this
me
is
about
their
that before.
relationship and the dynamic. It's just yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the upside to like artistry, right? Is that you don't have to orchestrate an entire team of cameras and lights and people to portray that. It's just you just have to know how to draw it, which is very, very interesting to me too. It's just like the flip side of the coin, like animated versus non-animated TV or production, right? It's just very cool, yeah, how you can like draw stuff and set stuff up with just like the flick of your wrist to give an illusion of or the portrayal of specific ideas or thoughts, processes. My nose is so plugged.
What'd you do?
I existed with allergies.
Oh.
Yes. Also,
You'll have to get over it sooner or later.
Yes.
Go get you some. I have no idea what any of the medication is called.
There's lots.
It's one that's a rainbow shooting out of a prism. I remember that one.
Claritin.
I'm not entirely sure what the name is. No, you can name it and I would not know.
Yeah, there's lots. There's like my family uses Arius most of the time because it's a 24-hour pill. I try to stay off allergy drugs though. Like my allergies this year have been the best they've been in my whole life, just because the last 4 years or so I've not taken any allergy meds. I've just let my body get accustomed to the types of pollen and whatever the fuck else we have here in Edmonton. So yeah, just like even last year, that tree that blooms right out front.
Yeah.
I walked out my front door the day that it started blooming, and it just felt like I got kicked in the forehead. Just so bad. And this year, it was a week into blooming, and I hadn't even noticed. Yeah, just allow my body to build the strength, the immunity to it, like any sickness.
Yeah. Sorry, odd conversational topics come up. Don't get a C-section. Natural birth. Moms. Help your kids with their immunity.
What if they don't have a choice?
You can still have like germs or some of the bacteria put into the kid.
Yes.
Just like put around the mouth and stuff. Just to make sure. Hey, the kid's getting like pooped on and
Yeah.
all kinds of crap's happening.
We know what happens.
I didn't know until like this year.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's...
Movies have successfully...
So, birth is a messy, messy thing.
Oh yeah.
All right? And
I don't know why I expected there to be any control.
And the upside to the fact that it is a messy thing is that it is going to strengthen your baby, your child. And we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's totally a good thing. It definitely helps any child in too many different areas. It's crazy.
I was a C-section baby.
Yeah, I can tell. I wasn't. Natural birth.
Yeah, I was a problem. I was
From day one.
I was the wrong way around, and they like fucked up my mom's surgery, and my mom and I were like on the brink of death for I think like a year after I was born. It's just like a stupid long time, and then they like did something wrong and she had to go back and get like reopened up to get fixed, and just horrible shit.
And that's not a great start to a relationship.
No. That's why we didn't get along until much later in life. We're talking like early 20s.
Happens. Ain't nobody's fault, nobody died, so it's all good. Came out healthy. Seems like you guys are doing alright.
Oh yeah, we have it's one thing I'm very grateful for is the mending of the relationship with my parents, because like when we were younger I was a shit child and just problems in like the teen years.
I think everyone has that though. It's different for, well, your teen years were very different from my own.
Yeah.
I was just reclusive or seclusive. I was by myself a lot.
That's reclusive, yeah.
Had questions and did not. My parents weren't the ones that I was going to go to for answers.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely a teen thing. You know, it's like that story I have about Travis, right? Where my mom's like, you need to push your glasses up. You look so lazy with them on the tip of your nose. And then like 2 days later, Keeping comes up and he pushes my glasses up my face. He says, you look so lazy with those things at the tip of your nose. And they were never at the tip of my nose again.
And then he just like cracks a smile and walks away.
Pretty much, yeah.
Lol. Your mom paid me $5 to do this.
I always thought that. I was like, did she tell somebody to do that? Because it was like such close proximity. But like hearing it from my mom, I was just like, yeah, no, fuck you. I'm gonna wear my glasses how I want. And then hearing it from like up here, I was like, oh, okay, put those up there.
Yeah, pretty much. It is. I don't feel like it always has to be that way for teens. The way it is right now, like in North America. Not to say you're wrong. It is correct today. Lots of people do that, but no parents are like friends with their teens or have a relationship where it's not just like, I'm up here, you're down here, I know you don't know kind of relationship.
Well,
It's like, I'm just trying to protect you.
Yeah, there's also a lot more free knowledge these days, right? Like as far as how kids are integrated into technology. So it's like they don't really have to have that gap I mean, unless their parents are morons, there's not really. I mean, like, they can just be like, oh, I have questions about life. Google, Siri, tell me the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, everyone's lives are just better because of the internet, right?
I thought that was an interesting topic that we were talking about on Friday, was technological development. 10 years ago, if we told ourselves that this is what we had today, like how blown our minds would be, and then wondering what there's going to be in another 10 years.
Yeah. I'm sorry for the raised eyebrows there, but as soon as you said that, I had tuned into some random video about new tech that's coming out. It's like, oh yeah, no, it was Chance.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Chance. He's talking about how smartphones have become obsolete and that Elon Musk is coming out with like some kind of brain mesh.
Yeah, that's exactly
like,
what I was.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, imagine, like, you're just born. Like, this is where, in the next 10 years, this is where my thought process goes. It's just like, what are they called? Tiny little robots.
Yeah, the ones they put in all the sci-fi stuff they put in your blood.
Yeah, so just like imagine an injection of those.
Nanobots.
So imagine like fucking nanobot injection. It's just like day one, they integrate themselves into your nervous system or into wherever. All of a sudden you're just like wirelessly able to just like access stuff. That's where I see it, because I can't imagine everybody's gonna be going in for brain surgery to get mesh put on their brains.
Probably not.
So I just feel like that would be the most commonsensical way. It's just like
just when they're born.
A host. Well, maybe not even when they're born, but just
that
like
seems hyper sketchy.
Well, so does a mesh around somebody's brain.
Well, if you're old, you can make your own decisions.
Oh yeah, so
Doing
yeah,
that to, like,
I didn't.
developing brain.
Yeah, I didn't mean like every child that's born gets microbot injections.
Saran wrap on their brain.
Yeah. No, okay, so like when you're able to make that choice, right? Instead of like going and having your skull chopped open and having a fucking fishing net put on your brain that helps you control stuff, that just seems like the most logical steps. Just like, here is an injection of a host of microbots that all work in the exact same way as the mesh would, and then they just attach or do whatever they have to do. They work as a single unit.
Yep. I am super skeptical.
Oh, totally.
It's not necessarily.
You should be.
It's a cool idea. It's interesting, but I don't feel like that should be the answer until people figure out how to actually use their own bodies.
Oh, agreed. 100%. That there's like, especially as far as like perspective goes, like what you're going to learn, right? It's like how to harness your own person as a person. Like we know so little about our bodies just like as random individuals, right?
Yeah.
And like what we're capable of and all that jazz. But that's the issue with technology, is that they're like, okay, well, you could spend 80 years of your life sorting yourself out, or we could just give you an implant.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like, it reminds me of, or it's very reminiscent of, have you ever seen that one Futurama where Fry gets worms?
Yeah, and he gets super jacked.
Yeah, because it's like, okay,
The
now
worms just help him all the time.
they're constantly exercising his muscles or stimulating his muscles. They're decreasing toxicity in his brain, preventing brain cell death.
Mm-hmm.
Just like all this stuff, right? Like keeping every part of his body running at peak efficiency. Like that's essentially what I see as far as like that idea, right? When we were talking about Elon Musk's brain mesh, and then my mind drifted into microbots or nanobots technology, and it's just like, okay, why stop at the brain when it just could be like, all right, everybody gets an injection, probably for a fortune, but just like, here's an injection of essentially those worms from Futurama that just like make your body work at peak efficiency. Like they're in your muscles, they're in your tissue, they're in your brain, and they just constantly stimulate the physical aspects of your body until you're just like peak human. That is what's frightening to me.
That's frightening?
Well, the brain mesh is the start of where the fear starts.
Just don't get the brain mesh.
Well, as you think about like how far it could develop from there, right, to the point where it's just like, yeah, we could just be integrated with tiny bots or a mesh in every part of my body that would just make me Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super not. So this is a me thing. Hopefully not reflecting on the stuff that I've been reading or watching, but it just seems almost completely absurd to try and augment or fix people's situations when the root of the problem is still there.
Yes.
And it's, I don't know, I just wrote down first world design. Like, the way we design our lives in the first world is a good portion of why we have a lot of chronic illness.
Yes.
Or at least that's what I've been led to believe. And just doesn't seem like tech's the greatest solution.
No, and I 100% agree with you, right? There's like, that's where development is. Like, that's what we're going to see, but it is not the greatest solution. Like, if anything, there should be like a recess on tech every year or every couple of years where it's just like, all right, nobody's allowed to use any technological shit for like a week. Just like get in touch with yourself. Or we should be teaching like the same kind of practices that you're pursuing, right? Like just like how to, instead of, you needing antidepressants and nanobot injections and brain mesh, like just sit down and be educated on how to find that kind of shit that you already have within yourself. Because that's just the superficial environment that we live in the first world, right? It's like we have stuff, so use stuff. And then the body kind of gets, or like who we are as people kind of gets pushed to the wayside because they're like, well, if people know how to make themselves better without all that shit, then where's the profit?
It is a weird place to be.
Yeah,
I agree. If you, like, even if you have the technology to do certain things, like, you don't always have to do it.
Oh, it's like Jurassic Park. You had thought about so long and hard about whether you could that you didn't stop to think about whether you should.
Moral of the story for that one?
Life finds a way.
Is that like Joker or something?
No, it's Jeff Goldblum.
Okay. Sure.
Jeff Goldblum's going to be in the new Jurassic World, hey?
Cool.
He was in the first 2 Jurassic Parks.
Cool. I remember the T-Rex, that's about it.
Jeff Goldblum. Look up Jeff Goldblum.
I know what he looks like.
Do you?
I'm pretty sure. He's the one with the glasses and slightly darker skin and, yeah.
He gets fucked up in the first one.
Does he?
Kinda. And then he's the main character of the second one. Life, finds a way, guy.
He's from that super popular movie that was about aliens.
Yeah, Independence Day.
Yes.
Yeah. He was also in some episodes of Friends. Where Joey's going out for that interview, the stage interview.
Oh, he's in Thor Ragnarok as well.
Yes, he is, yeah.
Is that movie out?
Not yet, no.
Is that movie in theaters?
Is it?
I don't know.
I think I would have heard about it. I follow a lot of that crap on YouTube or whatever.
November 3rd.
Yeah, I didn't think it was out.
It will be a while.
Pretty sure Spider-Man's out before that. Spider-Man's out like into July or something like that. And there's one more before that as well. Or no, I guess Guardians of the Galaxy 2 came out already. Wonder Woman came out. Maybe Spider-Man is the next one. Super excited for Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was my, Spider-Man man. Spider-Man was my fucking jam when I was younger. Like, the only comics I had were Spider-Man, Batman, X-Men, and like 3 Superman comics. And mostly Spider-Man comics. I had all the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. Love Spider-Man so much.
He's alright. I haven't read much about him.
Just, he was different as far as like a lot of superheroes went. Like up to the point where he was created, like superheroes were like Iron Man. He was the wealthy billionaire who made all this kind of crap, and Batman was a wealthy billionaire who engineered a bunch of crap. And then there's Superman, who's just like this all-powerful being from outer space. And you have other people like
yeah, he needed some reworking.
Yeah, like Captain America, who's just like funded by the government. And then when they create like all this kind of like just very well off, well-to-do superhero, and then you get Spider-Man, who's just like a broke teenager who's like just like struggles to make ends meet in the real world, let alone like trying to be an aspiring superhero at like 16. And It's just a very interesting concept at the time. Love it. Love everything about
Nice.
it.
I don't feel like Captain America was very wealthy.
No, not wealthy, but I mean, like, he didn't have to be. He was a government.
Because he was in the military.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
so they were just like, yeah, you need food, here's some food. You need an airplane ride, here's an airplane ride. You need a motorbike, here's a motorbike.
Well, he doesn't own anything.
He doesn't have to. He's a government agent. He doesn't really have any ties.
Doesn't really seem like he needs any ever,
Yeah, for him, it's all about the mission.
pretty much.
Can adultery ever be acceptable, Daniel?
Sure.
Really?
I mean, it can happen.
But is it acceptable?
I don't know. It depends on who's involved.
So if you adulterate with a rock star, it's okay?
I don't necessarily think it has. If the person's okay with it, like if the thing that's wrong with adultery is the person on the other end's like, oh, you had sex with someone else, but you promised to be with me. Does that make you sad? No. You're fine with it? Oh, okay, sure.
Is it still adultery, though, if it's an open marriage?
I don't think so. I'm not entirely sure. Adultery is, I'm assuming, like a Catholic or Christian marriage, and then any kind of sex outside of that marriage. That's kind of part of the agreement. No,
Yeah.
open marriages aren't Catholic, are they? Or is
No,
once you just get
I'm-
married and then you choose your subdivision of marriages?
See, that's the thing, is I wasn't thinking religion, right? Because I'm not religious.
I think
But-
that's where marriage came from, wasn't it? This is
Oh, yes.
This is a shot in the dark, but
Yeah, though there's union, but
yeah,
the whole constitution or institution of marriage is very religion heavy. It's just like your vows under God and the rules under God of your marriage.
this is a
There's also, but I mean, like even without religion, I mean, there's the whole open marriage concept, but without religion, even it's just like a betrayal, psychological damage.
But I mean, do you feel betrayed?
I felt betrayed when adultered on.
Yeah, I guess so, eh? I've
Yes.
never been in a relationship, and I've never been adultered on, so
This is why this is a pertinent question. We have both sides of the coin here.
yeah, exactly. I don't think I'd be terribly mad as long as I kind of kept my head.
Okay, so that takes me back to another question I had.
Because I mean, it's just two people having sex, right? And then you can also read infinitely further into it,
Do you have a
where you're just like, oh, this is a betrayal. You're a part of me, and we belong together. And crazy thoughts that come with love.
So do you have a technique for keeping calm?
Distance.
So if somebody cheated on you, you would just go away for a while?
No. If you ever, an example would be a third-person perspective, where you basically look down at yourself in the situation and see yourself as just a person, and then the other person is just a person. So you could take a God's point of view. Would be my example. Or you just like zoom out of your life and see that this is a tiny fucking planet that doesn't matter at all, full of
Jesus.
tons of life forms. It's a joke.
I just imagine you in the future, come home, catch your wife in bed, and you just stand there.
Yeah, I'm just zoned out.
Pretending to be omnipotent for a second, and then just being like, oh, none of this matters. Just leaving.
Yeah, you just have to fucking laugh at it. It's just a gigantic joke. There's also that, but you can go to the opposite end of the spectrum and think like your relationships are very important, life is very important, so you don't just throw it away. And if somebody's cheating on you, there's a reason. And so you just find out the reason. It's like, hey, is this relationship over? Do you want to continue with this other person? Or
Are you not happy, or did you just want some D?
I genuinely would not give a shit from where I am right now. Once again, have not been in your shoes.
Yeah, see, and for me, it's just like, I can't see it from your perspective. Maybe in the past I could have, but I don't know, man, just like I also feel like our views on relationships are a little different. Because, like, I am just, like, emotional person. A lot of emotional attachment. There's a lot of
Emotions.
Emotions. I am, what's his face from Attack on Titan?
Aaron?
Eren.
Yeah, I want to kill everyone.
I'm
just so upset.
I'm angry. I need to act right now.
Yeah. Don't think about it. Just act it.
I don't know, man. It's like when you develop that trust and that level of affection, and you build that bond, and then when you realize that it's like, okay, well, you've been sharing this, you're like, oh, it means the same to both of us, and then they do something like that, and you're just like, oh, okay, like there's clearly a gap in what we both feel.
Well, it's definitely, yeah, I don't know. In the case of cheating, it would be like physical or visual proof that they're not invested in this. So it's like, okay, that's fine. If you don't want this to continue, then it won't.
But that's also difficult when you're the one with the stronger emotional connection or attachment, right? Because then if you're...
Cold shower. Cold shower, huddle in a ball, crying.
Oh, bad.
Yeah, you don't put music in there just to make you even more sad. There's so many chemical reactions that be going on in you.
Oh man, yeah, adultery. It's a bloody mess.
Yeah, probably.
It is a bloody.
It really depends on the structure
mess.
of it too, because if your significant other doesn't tell who they're cheating with, then you really don't have much of a reason to be mad at them. They're just having sex with someone they assumed was single.
Oh man.
Except when they come in the house and your pictures are everywhere.
There's just like my last one, just like with a good friend, a band member, someone who like days before called you his brother.
Brother! Don't worry, I'll never call you that. Just because I feel like I'd let you down. Couldn't live up to it.
You're not qualified.
I'll just call you Brew.
Okay, so here's a
No,
excellent
continue.
follow-up question. Continue on what? I was done.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Then.
Yeah. So, under what conditions would you have an open relationship and make it work?
Depends what we're trying to do. An open relationship doesn't seem to make as much sense if you're trying to raise a family. That's mostly probably because I've been raised with those kind of values. But
I feel like if you're trying to raise a family and trying to stay happy and knowing that having sex with somebody else on either side of the, man or woman, or man or man or woman or woman, if that's something if that's something that you're both comfortable with and that's going to keep you happy, I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that and then still maintaining a happy household for your, like being a mother and father, or mother, father to your kids, ultimately keeping, like, instead of being a couple that fights about stuff, because I mean it's like money, sex, work, whatever, religion, people fight about. If you eliminate sex, which is a big one I've heard, then I don't know, makes for a more functional family, or could. Of course, both parties would have to be open relationship, open marriage.
yeah, it would definitely be interesting. I don't really know. Is open just sleeping with anyone?
I think it's just like an agreement where it's just like, yeah, you can have sex with other people or bring other people home to have sex with us.
Yeah.
Just open to the idea of other physical intimacies without just being with your significant other. I mean, people, like, I don't think I'm personally capable of an open marriage because I'm just like, I get too attached and too jealous and stuff like that. But for people where that's not an issue, right, when they know it's like, okay, they're just having sex, but like they're still in love with me, coming home to me, and we're still in the family and whatever, then if it works, it works.
Yeah, I think an important part would, it just can't be weird.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Because if it's weird with you and you have kids, then it's just going to be, it's going to be hard to explain.
Yeah, because there's like that kind of, what if one person wants it and the other person just says okay because the other person wants it and they love them and want them to be happy, and then they're just quietly dying inside.
Welcome to the trap.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Cool. I'm gonna see what time we're at here. We've kept this conversation pretty stimulated.
An hour-ish. Do you feel energized?
I feel alive.
Ready to go?
Oh, I give myself.
Yet not ready to go.
Gave myself a headache.
I have pulled so many muscles.
Hour and 15.
That's not bad.
No, so we could probably wrap up this one. And then dump the footage and do another. Or if you want to do another later, take a break.
Let's take a dump.
Okay.
I'm gonna go grab some food soon.
Yeah, I definitely need to eat something. I'm gonna go make a smoothie, I think.
Time for the smoothie.
Alright, well, this has actually been a pretty good podcast here, Daniel.
Yes,
I've liked
it's
it.
been okay.
Conversation was very stimulating.
I look forward to John's job, see how he does.
Me too. Yeah, I'm excited for him. And Chance too, excited for him getting back into the arts again, man, doing some acting.
Yeah.
'Cause that guy is, he's a talented artist, like all around. Like he's a singer, a dancer, a martial artist.
Yeah, I think he'd be great at podcasting.
I would also assume so.
Just putting that out there.
He is he's easy to talk to. He's jovial. He's got a lot of experiences to draw from. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Talk to him about that a little bit more. I know I kind of put a bug in his ear.
Literally and metaphorically.
Yeah.
Yo. We're slow to end this one.
I was just trying to think of any more conclusionary thoughts.
Pray for my visa.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed here that gets here before. I mean, if it doesn't show up, then of course you're welcome to stay. I have not yet found anybody to occupy your space, but
I'll have to unmove all my stuff.
that's, you should have just let me take it once you left, just to be sure.
Oh man.
I have no problem with that. Anyways, this has been the Choice by Choice podcast. I don't know, for all of you who tuned in this time for the intro, the same kind of intro as last time, I think I'm going to switch it up. And I had a lot.
It's always gonna change.
I had a lot of laughs and a lot of pats on the back about the last intro. People enjoyed it. Tate even left a message on the YouTube channel. It's just like, love the intro.
Nice.
So we'll see. I guess this is the end of the podcast, so you'll have already seen. Did you like the new intro? Leave your comments down below. Down there. And hit that.
Subscribe
Hit
is
that
over
subscribe
there.
button.
Yeah.
It's over here.
Some liking,
And the like is underneath that.
because it saves it to your likes list.
And then the share button's down there somewhere too. Do that. Do that button.
Do that button.
Alright, this has been Choice by Choice Podcast. I am at _Mr. Wolf if you want to tweet at me or Instagram me. This one will probably get up on SoundCloud as well. I guess I forgot to put up episode 7 on SoundCloud. I'll do that here today. Otherwise, we're on YouTube. As soon as I get my website finished, we'll be up on iTunes.
Nice.
Didn't realize that was a prerequisite.
Having your own website?
Yeah, you just need a
So you know you're legit a URL?
URL.
Oh, gotcha.
So if I still had all the episodes on SoundCloud, I'm sure I could just use the SoundCloud URL. But because I don't pay money for our SoundCloud account, I can only have up to 3 hours worth of audio on there.
Yes.
So because most of our episodes are over an hour long, I can only post or show
Like
two episodes at a time.
2.5?
Yeah.
Special half episode.
Yeah. And where can they find you, Dan? And don't say our home address this time.
This is Dan at Dan44280594.
Tweet at Dan. If he
Feel
goes,
free to tweet at me. I will
if he goes to India, he'll
try to answer.
He'll tweet back little excerpts about his trip or what he's learning.
Yeah, I'll tweet
Maybe.
all about the internet room.
All right, we'll probably be back in these same clothes for the next podcast.
Never change. Never change.
Never.
All right.
Change comes from within.
It's true. Never did get my money back.